Welcome to the WanderLearn show. I'm your host, Tapon. I'm here with Sym Blanchard and Joan Chan, who are, well, sweethearts together. I've had Sym many times on the podcast, and you should go and check out the links below to hear some of our episodes together. But in this episode, we want to do kind of a hybrid, so introduce a little bit of Joan as well, and just talk about the dynamics of dating a nomad, of a vagabond like Sym is, and the ups and downs and all that kind of good stuff, because something I can identify with as well. And also introduce Joan, who's had a fascinating life as well. So welcome, guys. My first question will be, how did you guys meet? I think Shroomer has something to do with it.
We met because of the Shroomer, yeah.
Yeah, Scott Williams.
Scott Williams, which is a mutual friend, which is a wonderful man.
And a friend of mine, too.
Yeah, and I heard about Sym through Scott many times, because Scott always talks about him. And I guess he's heard about me through Scott also.
What year was this?
2023. Scott and his wife are a member of the San Jose Opera Guild. And so they have a season tickets. And the particular day that they were playing Barbara was Seville, his wife didn't want to go. So Scott asked me if I wanted to go. I said, of course. I jumped in.
Sure.
And he says, well, I'll come and pick you up at Friday at 4 p.m. I said, okay. That Friday morning, he texted me and says, Sym is coming with me, with us.
And you had already heard about Sym.
I heard about him.
Right.
And I heard about him. He was a kaji.
Oh, yeah.
Kaji means a hobo in Korean.
Yeah. Hobo, vagabond.
Bum.
Yeah, bum.
Vagabond.
Nomad.
Yeah. So anyway, I said, okay. And so...
Can he please shower before he comes?
Well, I was expecting a really gruffy-looking guy, with the, dirty old clothes. But when they came to pick me up, he jumped out of the car, and he looked pretty nice, and he cleaned up. So I said, oh, he cleaned up,
Surprise.
And that was the only time he cleaned up. And from then on,
Downhill.
Yeah. Anyway, so then we went to San Jose, and they wanted to have a dinner first. So he took us to a nice steakhouse dinner. And we didn't get to sit together because he got the ticket late. So Scott and I sat on the front and he sat on the back.
At the opera.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And after the opera, they dropped me off, and that was it. And the next day was a Camino potluck in Oakland for people who walk the Caminos. You heard of the Camino?
Yes,
Yeah.
I've hiked it.
And yeah. So Scott invited me to go there. So I went there, and he showed up there.
Again?
Yeah.
Why did you show up again? Is it because of her or because you were already planned? It was 3 years already in your schedule.
Both. I'd hiked the Caminos before and wanted to hike a few more. So, yeah, and I know Joan was going to be there. And
You've done how many Caminos?
Two.
Two.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
But we're, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so we didn't get to really talk much because there was a lot of people. And we said hi. He sat next to me. And when we were done, I said goodbye. And he came back and says, one more hug, and gave me a hug. And I said goodbye. And that was it. I thought he was gone. Well, because I heard that he didn't have a home, or he just kind of floats around all over. So I thought he left the Bay Area, and so I thought he was gone. And I was planning to have a kimchi making party at Scott's house.
Oh.
Yeah, Scott's got a beautiful,
I've heard.
a huge backyard kitchen, outdoor kitchen, and everybody wants to have a kimchi making party. So it started with the 6 people at my house. It's kind of turned up now. It's like 30 people, and so we decided to have a kimchi making party on December 5th. But I hear I see his posting, Facebook posting. One day he's in Pleasanton, one day he's in Walnut Creek, one day he's
visiting
Concord.
friends and family.
Yeah.
Right. And these are all the Bay Area.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and one day he's in Fairfield. So I thought, oh, he must be still in Bay Area. I said, maybe, I heard that he liked to eat kimchi, so I should invite him over. So I sent him a text, and he says, well, I can't. And 2 minutes later, he texted me back and says, I'm flying from Nashville. I can drive to Sacramento. I can drive there in an hour, but I'd be late. I said, that's fine. And so he showed up 1 hour later to kimchi making party. And because I heard that he didn't have a place of his own, and I knew he was staying in Scott's house that night, I told him if whenever Scott offers you to stay in his house, you should stay in his house because he's your friend. But if he doesn't, you can always come and stay with me in my extra bedroom. I have an extra bedroom with the in-suite bath.
Yeah.
He goes, could I come tonight? I go, huh?
I'm thinking, well, I could stay with Scott or I could stay with Joan. And I figure,
IQ test.
No brainer.
I said, you want to come tonight? He says, yeah. So I was kind of shocked he wanted to come that night, but I couldn't refuse because I invited
him, right?
And everybody looked at me like, oh. I said, okay. I couldn't say no.
Right.
So we came home. We had a talk, and he did spend the night in my extra bedroom. And we were talking, and I told him, he said he was going to New Zealand for 3 months. And I said, oh, gee, I wanted to go to New Zealand. I had an opportunity. Well, someone actually invited me to go to New Zealand for 2 weeks of hiking trip. And it was $10,000. And I said, I can't spend that kind of money. And so I was feeling kind of bad. My girlfriends are going and I'm not. And when he said he was going to New Zealand, I said, God, I want to go to New Zealand. He said, why don't you come meet me in New Zealand? I said, but I don't even know you. He says, well, we'll find out. We will get to know each other. I said, let me think about this. And next morning, he left, and I had to go to hiking. Scott calls me next day, and he says, how did it go? I said, went well. He goes, can I say what he said? Yeah. Did you F his brain off? I said, huh? No. He said, why not? I said, for one thing, I don't do the one night stand. And I don't know him. I don't know if I will see him again. I said, yeah, that's true. I'm glad you didn't do that.
Thanks, Scott.
Yeah. And but I said, he did invite me to go meet up and meet in the New Zealand. He said, you should definitely go. I said, but I don't know him. He said, that's how you get to know him.
Yeah.
He's a good guy. I said, let me think about it. So I gave her a couple of days thought about it. And I said, I was 70 years old. I said, I should take a chance. The opportunity is knocking the door. I should take the chance.
And the rest is history.
Yeah. So I said, okay. And then, even though I bought the ticket to go there, I just got really nervous. And I said, I don't know him. We never had a date. I mean, we met 3 times. That was about it. And
he stayed at your house.
Yeah, but we didn't do anything.
Right.
So anyway, I kept saying, I'm not sure if I should go. I'm not sure. Everybody who knows him says, so he's a good guy. He will never hurt your intentions. Scott says he will never hurt you intentionally. So I said, okay. And he says, if you want us to come and rescue, show some kind of sign, because he posts pictures on the Facebook.
Right.
So I borrowed one of my friends of gesture. So if you see me this on my face, come get me. So, and that was it. And rest is history.
That's a great story. And you've been traveling extensively together. Sym, why don't you give the quick summary?
Yeah, last year I spent 3 months in New Zealand, and she spent 1 month with me. And then she had to go back. She was hiking in Spain.
No, he came back. I had to come home.
Yeah.
And then he came and met me at my house. And so he stayed with me for about 10 days. And then we went to South Korea for 1 month.
Okay.
And
her brother drove us all over. It was
my
fantastic.
brother drove us all over, and we had a wonderful time. The cherry blossoms were absolutely phenomenal. And then after that, we went to Japan for 3 weeks. And then I had to come home because I had a plan to go to Spain for to walk the Camino del Norte.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So while I was doing
But
that,
you were there too?
Yeah,
no,
no,
he went all over the Asia.
I went to
while I was doing-
Cambodia and Laos and Malaysia and Philippines. And
And somehow we didn't meet. I
I
don't know.
guess
Yeah.
not. Yeah.
Oh, how?
I'm not
Because
sure
we
where
should have.
you're-
Yeah.
You guys didn't communicate.
Yeah, that would have
Yeah.
been great.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so that, but then, so you did El Camino Santiago del Norte,
3 weeks, yeah.
and then from there, when did you guys meet?
And
again?
then I came home, and 2 days later, I flew to Taiwan to meet him because his sister lives in Taiwan.
Yeah.
So we spent 5 days
Yeah.
in
Taiwan.
Taiwan.
First time?
First time.
Yeah. So you're of South Korean descent,
Yeah.
right? And then, but you guys never traveled. You did travel with your brother, I guess.
Yeah,
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
brother, my middle brother drove us everywhere.
Oh, it's fantastic.
So the key question that everybody who's listening to this wants to know is, what are the downsides? Because nomads from far away seem very romantic and like what an idealized life. And
Yeah.
oh my God, it must be so cool to just travel nonstop and around the world. And like, and if you hear about some guy, it sounds very appealing. And it is for many women who might find that an attractive kind of romantic idea. But then comes reality.
Yeah. Well, I've always wanted to travel all over the world, but I didn't want to travel by myself.
Right. And that's a common refrain.
Yeah, I traveled with my friends, but when I heard about him traveling all over the world, it sounded appealing. Yes, it was. And it was great. We've been traveling together for almost 2 years. I mean, we never had a date, but
It's a long date. How about that?
yeah,
It's a 2-year date.
yeah, exactly. So we have been 24/7 for almost 2 years. So far we haven't killed each other.
Yeah,
That's right.
but we were close.
Yes, there were times, yeah.
We went down to South America, Central and South America.
Oh my God.
For 4 months, and we drove from Brazil down to Chile, down to Patagonia, and boy, the roads they were gravel
roads.
and up and down, and
Yeah.
and we had a few times we had to sleep in the car. And Joan was going to kill me a number of times. And she says, "This is not my life. I don't want to do this. We need and anyway."
So one of the downsides is the fact that these nomads sometimes can live
Yeah.
a very frugal, simple existence.
Yeah, he wants to sleep in the airport. He wants to sleep in the baby bag. He wants to sleep in the car. He wants to sleep in the hostel. I've done all that, but I don't really enjoy it.
Right.
And I really, if I was maybe 30 years younger, I guess I'd be okay. But at my age, I like to be comfortable.
Right.
Yeah.
And that brings up the issue, like what both of you are in your early 70s, and what
Yeah.
is different traveling in your early 70s versus your early 20s or early 40s.
Yeah, I guess we have more time because we're retired now.
Right.
So that we can take a time. We don't have to rush, and we can go whatever you want to go, whenever we want to go.
That's the upside.
That's really upside. Downside, when we go for so many months, I miss being home because I have a wonderful group of people here, friends that I deeply connect with. Love them like my own family. I really spend more time with them than my family when I'm home.
Yeah.
And that's I really miss them.
Right.
Yeah.
And you're in Pleasant Hill in Northern California,
Yeah.
in the Bay Area, and you've been here for how long?
I've been in the Bay Area for almost 50 years, for 47 years.
And then how much in this home itself? Because
6
we're
years.
right now 6 years in this
Yeah,
home. We're
yeah,
recording in our home.
Yeah.
And so you can naturally, if you've been for 5 decades nearly in the Bay Area,
Yeah.
you've
It's
had
my
the
home.
deep roots.
Yes, yes.
Much deeper than South Korea.
Exactly. It really
For
is.
sure.
Yeah. I came here when I was 23.
My mom came here when she was 25, I think,
Oh,
roughly around that
yeah.
same age.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My dad came when he was like 30 something.
Oh.
So yeah, and settling in, it's hard to give that up
It is.
for like 7 months.
Yeah. we were gone for 4 months in South America. I missed it so much. What's happening in here with my friends,
Right.
and I missed the wildflowers.
So what do you do?
and-
Like, do you say, Sym, hey, Sym is an insatiable appetite for
I-
travel.
Yeah.
So will you just say, okay, well, you continue. I'm going to go back home and recover or like reconnect
Well,
for a few months.
well, I told him I don't want to do 2 months at a time,
Okay.
and he agreed, which is great. And even then, sometimes the 2 months is a little too long for me.
Yeah.
I need to come back home and recover, reconnect with my
Community.
and I got 3 beautiful grandkids that I need to see,
Right.
and
And they're in the Bay Area.
they live in San Ramon,
Right.
so I don't get to see them that much.
Right.
So that's not the downside.
Right.
But we worked out where I will go down. I'd like to see a lot of friends and family. So I was just down in LA for at least
5 days.
5 days,
Yes,
and then up in Seattle area.
yeah. So whenever he needs to go
Yeah.
places, I'm okay with him going.
For a short
But,
period
you
of
know,
time, but then we
yeah.
come back. I'd say, well, what do we want to do? And she plans it, and then any space in between, then I'll go off and do my thing.
Yeah,
I want to finish the International Appalachian
and
Trail.
that's fine with me. You know?
Okay.
Yeah.
And
So
we-
in a 12-month period, would you say that you overlap about 8 months?
8 months at least. Yeah.
At least probably 10.
Maybe 10.
10 months. Yeah.
Okay. And then some of the time, maybe a good amount of those 8 months, maybe 2 or 3 of them are actually here.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
So you also recharge. Because I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
as a nomad myself, as a Kuji,
Yeah.
Korean country.
yeah, Korean Kuji myself, it's nice. I go back to my mom's house and just
Yeah.
reconnect
Yeah.
and just recover. So, and I can imagine when you're getting in your early 70s,
Yeah.
that need to recuperate,
Oh,
recover
definitely.
is there too.
Yeah. I'm, as much as I love to travel, I'm always so happy to be home.
Right.
And Bay Area is where I want to be when I'm home.
Right.
I don't want to be anywhere else. You know, I don't want to go live anywhere else if I had to live, you know. This is where I love to be here. So I'm always happy to be back home. And after a while, I'm ready to go again. You know?
That's true.
Yeah, so
And I kind of feel the same way that I don't feel the same way in that I don't have a need to go here, but I really enjoy coming back and recharging. But it's not like, oh, I got to get home, or, you know, as opposed to, oh, I really want to travel.
Right.
Here's where I want to go.
It was your suitcase, which was at your son's house when I last checked.
Yeah.
Has it moved the suitcase here?
No,
It's still there.
but it's empty.
It's empty.
It's empty. Yeah.
What the hell?
I have everything in my little pack, and then actually I have a
So you don't
few
even have-
drawers that I've gotten filled.
So
up.
when we last talked to Sym, he had gotten rid of his bicycle
yeah.
and just got his whole all worldly possessions into a suitcase.
It's a little backpack like this when I met him.
Right.
yeah.
But he has a suitcase.
Yeah, he
You know,
told
like
me,
a stash there. So it's deceptive. You
brought
think
all
that he
that
has
out here.
just it in his backpack. He has a whole big suitcase
Yeah.
somewhere else.
It's about the same size, and it's empty now. So.
And now it's empty.
He brought all here.
I forgot what I was trying to imagine what was in there. I imagine like
His clothes.
I think I had an extra bivy bag.
Okay.
Yeah.
so what about like things like tax documents or whatever, like you digitize them all?
I
guess?
digitized everything.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
took photos, and it's all in the cloud.
Okay.
So
What service do you use for digitizing? I mean, to like storing it online.
Google One.
Okay.
Yeah, so we have like 2 terabytes.
2 terabytes.
And yeah, just load it up. All my photos, I've taken photos of them.
All your photos fit in 2
I
terabytes.
need to do
Yeah,
that
yeah.
too.
You don't take very many photos.
No, I got a ton, but yeah, that's a lot.
Still.
Well,
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess
Yeah.
photos. Yeah, I think video because for me, I do video.
oh yeah,
So it
yeah,
takes
yeah.
a lot of
Oh, it does more than 2.
Yeah, I have one. I just bought a 22 terabyte drive.
Holy
Wow.
cow! Oh my
I
god!
just bought one like last week because all my other terabytes are all. I've got a 5 terabyte, an 8 terabyte. They all fill up. Video just sucks up
Oh
Yeah,
my
that's
gosh.
so much to storage, and I just anyway. That's another story. Anyway, so what I want to do when we come back on our next episode is talk a little about earthing, which is walking because you've suffered several injuries.
I had a lot
Joan,
of injuries, yeah.
And you've used earthing as a method to kind of heal.
Yes.
And we'll talk about that in the next episode. And I'm also kind of curious to talk a little bit about, what Sym and I talked about in a previous episode about children and raising them and just like the pros and cons, what he did right, what he did wrong in the process of raising kids, what he's proud of and what he regrets, things like that. We'll talk about that in the next episode. So make sure you subscribe, hit this video with a nice like button, and this is France Tapon encouraging you to wander and learn. Thank you for listening all the way to the end of this WanderLearn show. I am now using Substack.com to deliver my podcast and weekly newsletter, so please subscribe to my free Substack newsletter by using the link in the show notes. Or, if you've got a good memory, browse to ftapon.substack.com. Why ftapon? Well, it's my first initial and my last name. In fact, whatever social media app you use, including YouTube, if you search for ftapon, you'll find me, so connect with me. My website is also ftapon.com. Do you have an idea, question, or comment? Leave me an anonymous voicemail at speakpipe.com/ftapon. Lastly, become a WanderLearner by joining my paid subscriptions on Substack or patreon.com/ftapon. Wherever you join, I will reward you regularly. Tell your friends to subscribe to the WanderLearn show. If you review the WanderLearn show, I'll share your review on a future episode. This is France Tapon encouraging you to wander and learn.